Welcome to the Delphi Technologies e-learning system, the Delphi Academy. Now, we're just going to take you through what the portal looks like and what the content is like in a couple of minutes. You may have seen some of the promotional material, and this just takes that a little bit further. So if you've purchased access, then you just sign up here with your activation key, and that will allow you into the system. You'll then register, and you'll be ready to go. I've already done that, so I'm going to click up here, log in, and enter my credentials. Upon upon the landing page, then you're going to see that this is the really slick interface. It's kind of got a Netflix style feel to it, where any new courses and new content we produce, you don't have to go and find them inside the modules and inside the categories in these blue icons here. They'll just be on our new course banner or something that's been added recently. So I can just simply scroll through here, and these will be changing all the time. So if you're watching this a little bit later when this was recorded, they're obviously going to change. So let's look at how we use the interface and have a look at some of the content. We're going to start off first by heading to the vehicle electric section. So I'm just going to click on the category vehicle electrics, and I'm going to go back to the introduction to electrics. Now you can see at the moment that I haven't started the other courses, but I have begun the introduction to electrics. So I can see here that this one is resume and the others are enroll and begin. So I'm going to resume this course. And so far, my progress through it, I haven't completed any one module of it yet. I may be partway through, but I haven't completed any particular module. So at the moment, I have started this top one with electric introduction. I haven't begun the other ones here, and I have started circuits as well, and also on relays. Now, if you're partway through a module, the system will remember where you are. So when you click back into it straight away, that it's going to remember exactly where you are, and you'll be able to go straight ahead. I'm just going to mute the audio on that. So you can see that the kind of content that we have in this portal. This one here is all about relays and their operation and how they work. So once you go through it and you've reached the end of it, the system will log that you've completed. And instead of it being blue here, it will turn green. At any point, you can just press the back button in your browser, or alternatively, if you press the Delphi Technologies icon or the icon that's in the top left corner, it will always take you straight back to the home screen, no matter where you are in the portal. Let's have a little look now in hybrid electric. You can see all of the different all of the different courses that we've got, and within each course, we have a different modules. So let's look at the charging one here. Now, I haven't begun this, so I'm going to click on enroll first. That will enroll me into the course, and then I can begin that training course. So we have the introduction, different sort of charging connectors, and the cost of charging. So if we click on the charging connectors one, we haven't started this at all. It will just start from the beginning. And you can see here in this module, we actually went out to site to record at one of the new rapid charging hubs to record the different charging connectors. So it gives you an idea of some of the real world content that we are producing for this e-learning platform. So that was around vehicle electrics and hybrid electric, but what about something different? So let's have a look at chassis systems. Within chassis systems, we classify under brakes, steering, suspension, and wheels and tires. We can see here I've got resume, so that means I've already begun that module and within that course, and I've got all the modules there as well. So if I go back into, I don't know, let's look at brake disc designs where I were before, I can resume that, and you can see here again, if I pause that, I'll just mute the volume. This is the kind of content that we have. Now, if you've watched partway through a video, you can always rewind that video and go back to have a look at if you miss something, you can just skip back to have a look at what you missed and just take this learning at your own pace. So the last thing really, and I'm going to go back to the beginning again by clicking the icon in the top left, is we have an engine simulator. We work with a company called Electude to port their simulator into this tool, because for us, the simulator is a great way of testing all of your learning that you've done is actually being able to test it. We also have the simulator in our training needs analysis, which is here. So some of our training needs analysis is questions, but other is actual faults on a simulator. The idea behind that is if we just ask questions, we're only checking your knowledge. If we actually ask you to do something in a simulator and fix a fault, it tests more of your practical skills. So I can find the simulator in different training needs analysis, but I can also find it in petrol systems and vehicle electrics there. So let's head back into vehicle electrics, and instead of going to my introduction, I'm going to go to the practical tasks. I enroll on the course, and I can now begin. Now, what we did is we prepared a video on how to use the simulator, especially when you're dealing with faults on the simulator. We start off with a demo engine simulator. It gives the learner a chance to practice and have a little bit of a go. It may be that they just want to practice something specific and don't necessarily want to fault find on the simulator. So that's what the first one is for. Now we have here different faults that we actually load into the simulator. So this one here is an engine non-start. We have an engine temperature fault light on there, and we assign a difficulty level to that. So it's good. It's a good practice to start at the lowest level and work your way up. Now let's go into the engine simulator itself. You always begin the simulator with a work order, and this tells you what the kind of fault is going to be. We also, on our how-to video on how to use the simulator, we talk about these boxes here, and once you finish your task, what you have to do to then tell the system you're complete, and then your simulator job will be marked, and you'll be given a score on how well you fixed that problem. Did you replace the correct components, or did you just replace every component until the problem was rectified? Now in the simulator, we have the ability to grab lots of little different tools. So we're going to start off with the dashboard, allows us to switch the ignition on, and then we have our multimeter as well. So in this, I'm going to just attach the multimeter to the battery, and I can switch my multimeter on to allow me to measure the battery voltage whilst I switch the ignition on and during cranking and with the engine running. Now, the nice thing about the simulator is if I just switch the ignition on and bring out my diagnostic tool, with the engine running here, if I start the engine back up, just mute the audio, and if I disconnect this injector, for example, I then trigger an engine warning light. Now, if I just switch off and just put the ignition on, connect to the vehicle like you would with any other diagnostic tool, you can make the diagnostic tool bigger or smaller and click on fault codes. It has triggered the cylinder 4 fault code for injector and cylinder misfire detection. So it gives you an idea of how flexible the simulator is, and you can see here that I've completed that one because there wasn't a fault. Now we've gone through some of the digital content, and it is vast. There's digital content in all those different categories on screen. But what about the practical learning? Well, if you're completing any practical learning with Delphi Technologies, whether it's at the technical center for Delphi or it's out and about, whether the trainer is coming to you, then your practical dates will be displayed within this same portal. So if I click here on my calendar, I can see here in July 21 that I have 2 courses. I've completed them both. But if the course was upcoming, I can see where its location is, and the system will automatically send me reminders that my course is upcoming. Now, the nice thing is, whether you're completing a practical course or a digital course, the system will automatically create your certificates once you have completed certain courses. So to view my certificates, I simply go to my progress, and I can see straight away at the top is my certificates, and at the bottom is all the courses I'm in progress with or I have completed. So looking at my braking systems, I completed that practical course, and the system then creates my certificate based on that, which I can then print or I can store digitally, and you can download that certificate. Right then, so if we go back from there, we've covered our certificates, and the last thing is really about your course notes. So what we do is once you've completed your course, you will then have a digital copy to download of your course notes, clicking on this button here. And I can see I've completed a number of practical courses, and I've accessed these 3, not this one yet. So if I go to ADAS, for example, which is a course I completed, I can access my course notes. And it might be I need to refer back to something fairly quickly, and I just want to go back to a certain page on the course that we were talking about. Then that is how we access our digital course notes. So I hope you find this quick overview very useful, and we look forward to you using our digital system to further your knowledge and experience.